Ladies and gentlemen, honorable judges, good afternoon. What lovely weather we were having last week, weren't we? The wind died out and the sun was dazzling, so I didn't give second thoughts to strolling home from university. As I was rejoicing in the weather and soaking up the sun, I noticed two people going in front of me. There was a boy about 5 years old and obviously his father. The two were dressed almost the same, and all in all the boy was the exact image of his dad. And one could see with the naked eye that the boy looked up to his father and copied each and every movement of his. The men were eating bananas, and having finished his, the man threw the banana skin on the ground. Without a moment's hesitation, the boy did the same. "What have you done?" the man yelled out. "Haven't I told you that a trash bin is where you have to put rubbish?" The boy muttered, "But Dad, you have just done the same, haven't you?" "Yes, but you have to do what I say, not what I do." This very statement put me into a great deal of contemplation. Parents often ask why their children don't heed their warnings and advice, even after countless repetition. Do what I say, not what I do. How effective is that? It follows then that a mother who tells her daughter it's important to read shouldn't be surprised if these words fall on deaf ears, if she herself is constantly glued to the TV set. Likewise, a hard-drinking father who chides his son about the dangers of alcohol can reasonably expect these warnings to be ignored. The short answer is that boys and girls are far more focused on what parents do than what they say. Apparently, children are like little sponges. Without us even realizing it, they soak up every last thing we do. And it is unbelievably hard for a child to believe it is not okay to do something that you do. They expect us to establish boundaries for them, and they learn from us how to behave. So you're directly responsible for teaching them manners, gratitude, and respect for adults. If you swear profusely at a beggar in the street, don't be taken aback if in the blink of an eye your priceless child uses strong language. And don't exclaim, "I don't know who taught her these words." Telling your child to treat people a certain way does not carry nearly the same weight as demonstrating it. So the first step on the path of rectification is to have your actions match your words. Ladies and gentlemen, we should all keep in mind that any lesson offered to a child in an abstract manner, not backed up by real deed, is not going to work very well. Our children are taking constant notice of us, and they're measuring us not by what we say, but what we do. And I will give you valid proof. In the kindergarten, I had a friend. His father was a highly regarded community figure and was conducting a campaign against alcohol. He was authoritative with the public, but for some unknown reason lacked authority in his son's life. Later, it was found out that the man was an abusive alcoholic and beat his son. Behind his own front door, his family was crumbling under him, but he was publicly admired. There's no wonder the boy despised his dad. You know, he wouldn't have asked perfection from his father, but as any child, he was watching to see if the parent, insisting on some values, was willing to live out those values himself. The man talked a good game and had all the perfect answers, but failed to follow his own principles. To make things worse, a short time ago I read in a newspaper that the boy hit the bottle and lost himself in robbery. He ended up in prison, you know. So, ladies and gentlemen, this distressing example points fingers at another fact, that our actions not only affect our children's life right now, but will directly affect the outcome of their lives many years from now, as we observe it in the aforementioned story. What we do and say shapes the kind of people they will become. So we need to stop for a moment and take into account what kind of future adults we are creating. Our children, our legacy. And what we leave behind when our turn here is done is precious. So another step is to start him out with the mindset that life is full of wonderful possibilities waiting to be explored and that he can achieve anything as long as he believes in himself. Do this by practicing it yourself and you will both experience tremendous fulfillment. To bring my speech to its natural ending, I would say that parents are powerful beings and it is crucial to value that power. We are a role model in everything. Our lives, therefore, should include time to evaluate our own behavior. Thus, and thus only, will this gap for our children between what we say and what we do will narrow. Consequently, if you set an immaculate example to your child, you will reap rewards in terms of a more satisfying life, and when you look back on your life, you will have no regrets. So start the fire, fan the flames. Thank you.
Thank you for your speech. Questions, please? You're all welcome.
Tatiana Kuzminkova, can you name some exact examples which your family set to you in your childhood by doing?
Thank you. Thank you for the question. You know, I'm a real copy of my mom, as they say, cheap of an old block. So I am really. And you know, I even followed in her footsteps in choosing the university. Her example was set to me, and that is why I entered SLU, because it was her example. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nikita Frezhnev. Usually, not only parents affect children's characters and personalities, but their friends usually give them bad examples. How can we prevent it?
Thank you for your question. It's just to the point. Thank you. You know, all society can be roughly divided into two parts. Those who are close relatives who set a brilliant example, and some other people who usually set a bad example. And the family's role in it is to correct this bad influence of other people in the child's life. Perhaps the only way they can do it is by limiting the range of friends their child communicates with. Although it can be really hard, but it's worth a try. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Judges, please. No one? Okay, thank you as well.
Thank you.